Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Before we begin, I just want to remind you that I now have an Etsy page where you can get personal email readings from me, and the link to that Etsy page is going to be in the description box below. So yeah, the purpose of this reading is to give a review of the Tarocco Indovino by Dal Negro, and I actually ordered this in February, but ended up coming recently. So like 3 months later. I think it might have something to do with COVID, but anyways, maybe they made it and sent it. I'm not really sure. I know that it was first printed in 1979, and it was also published in the Repubblica, which is and I know it's a very old Italian newspaper that they still have going online. Not really sure. I mean, I don't live in Italy, so don't quote me on that. But okay, so let's get started. So yeah, the tarot deck, it came in this box here actually. It's like a sliding, revolving sort of container. And then once you take it out, yeah, or this the covering for that as well. So it says Tarocco Indovino, 78 cards. Dal Negro is the maker, and then we have yeah, so it's printed in 1979. The artist is Sergio Ruffolo. He's a Capricorn, and yeah, and by Dal Negro, and I think it was printed in, oh, it went out of focus, printed in Italy, Treviso. And yeah, so I'm trying to focus. Okay, there we go. It's focused now. So it says there's 22 major arcana, 56 minor arcana, and then an Italian instruction book. Yeah, so that's what the cover looks like. And then here's the instruction book here. Let me try to focus again. There we go. Okay, so here's the instruction book. It says Dal Negro, Tarocco Indovino, and it's, yeah, an instruction booklet. And we'll try to focus. There we go, it's focused. So it just gives you the, divinatory meanings. It's actually pretty thorough. It gives you each, okay, so don't be confused, by the way, with these cards. It's a little different. I'll show you later, but yeah, I mean, they are numbered per each. The major arcana are not numbered, but the minor arcana are numbered, and they're categorized. And also, so these are the divinatory meanings, and then it also gives you a reverse meaning where it says, here it says capavolta, and that means upside down, so it does give you a reverse meaning as well. So it is pretty thorough, I would say. It's a pretty thorough instruction book, and it's very simple to read. I love, simplicity when things are well spaced out. Gotta give credit where it's due there. Okay, so let's just get straight into the flip through. Hold on one second. Let me just grab my coffee, get in a comfortable position because there are 78 of them. Okay, so let's start. So this is what the back looks like here. I believe that's the 12 zodiac signs. And then let's see. And these are not in order because I've shuffled them already. So here we have the Hermit. So this is a major arcana card. And yeah, that's what the Hermit looks like. Pretty classic depiction there. What is that? Okay, it's gone now. There we go. So now we have the Star. Once again, let me try to zoom in. So major arcana, La Stella. Yeah, if you're not used to nudity, I mean, it's not raunchy or anything, but a lot of tarot cards do have nudity in them, as does a lot of, old art. So, and here's Focolare. So this actually means hearth. And then there's a reverse meaning right there in red. So the red is the reverse meaning right there. Gioco means game. So it does have 2 meanings per card. And then you also get, so there's a number here. Don't be confused. They do look like numbers for cards, but this is actually the 10 of denarii or pentacles or coins. And in the guidebook, once again, the major arcana, like these, are not numbered, but then they are numbered here in the major arcana section in the front of the booklet. And then towards the back, you get the minor arcana, and they are also numbered here. So there's a number there, and then you can also look them up by their suit. So like this is the denarii, coins, or pentacles, and you just would find it the 10th one in that section. And once again, the reverse meaning is in red, and this one, focolare, means hearth, which I know you wouldn't really think that looking at it, but there is a fire, and yeah, there's some imagery there that I guess kind of leads you to see the meaning. Okay, so this is turbamento, and the reverse meaning, so document, and then I believe this is like conflict or, well, turbulence, I guess, of some kind. I tried to memorize all 78 of the Italian cards and their meanings, but if I get it wrong, don't judge me because I don't speak Italian. But yeah, these are all in Italian, by the way, including the book. So just letting you know. So this is superiority and hypocrisy is the reverse meaning of this one. And then, and by the way, the R, I know that's a bit confusing, but that actually stands for Re, so king. Yeah, so I was a little confused at first, but then once you actually know it's easy. Like once you know what they stand for, what they symbolize. So this is lontananza. So like the reverse meaning is alienation, and I think the upright meaning is distance. And then we have la forza. So this is, force. Traditionally, there's a woman holding a lion's mouth open, or sometimes, in I think more older versions, you see a woman holding a pillar, but, in this case, it's a man, la forza. And then we have eredita, and then parenti. So this means hereditary, and then reverse is like I think like lineage or parentage. Interesting. That's an interesting card. I'm not really sure how you'd link that to the tarot, but it's definitely interesting. Il Bagato, which is the magician. It looks like he's making something with a bunch of tools, and like a craftsman. Then we have passato, and then futuro is the future. So this is, I think, past and future. And then we've got amabilita, and then we have legame. So this is friendship, and then the reverse meaning, I believe, is like a false person. And then the D, this kind of confused me a little bit, but it actually stands for donna. So the queen would, instead of be, usually it's, I think it's reina or re something with an R, but in this case it's donna. So this would actually in the booklet be Queen of Cups. So yeah, it can be a little confusing, but once you know what it symbolizes, it gets easier. Then we have amore, the love, and then the reverse meaning there. I think that means disorder or something like that. And then we have vittoria, which is victory, and then the reverse meaning is sincerity, I think. No, I don't think that was the meaning. Okay, you know what? I don't remember all of the Italian, but try to, I think that had a different meaning actually. Sometimes it's confusing, even though, Italian and English are both Latin based, but they definitely have some very different meanings. I mean, you'd be pretty surprised. And then we have the devil, pretty easy there. Looks very dandy. Next we have determination, inertia. I like that, it's very cute. Next we've got the king of, I believe this is, no, it's just denaro, so it's wealth, and anxiety is the reverse meaning for this one. He has a very kind of a big hat there. That's interesting. Next we have Gliamanti, the lovers. I really like this one. I also love these colors, you know, they're like very vibrant, but not too much, you know. It's like subtle and vibrant at the same time, like very beautiful colors, but you know, not too cloying to the eyes because they're slightly subtle. Next we have Viaggio or voyage. You know what, I think I'm just gonna skip over the reverse meaning because I think it'll take too long to read over every reverse meaning, but you get the hang of it, I guess. And then here's La Peso, which is the hanged man. He looks like he's freaking out. Well, I guess because he's hanging from a tree, but next we have La Morte, which is death. He looks very happy for the death card. Very, you know, approachable. Next we have Noia. I think this meant boredom. We have La Temperanza, which is temperance. Next we have Bellezza, which is beauty, beautiful. I really like this card too. I like this sort of setup she has going on. Looks kind of uncomfortable, but it looks visually, it reminds me of like a cake dress. Next we have, I'm guessing this is indiscretion because that's what it looks like, but it could also mean, I think this meant like an affair or something like that. Yeah, okay, so just a tidbit here. When I was going through these and then trying to get the hang of, you know, memorizing the meanings, like connecting the meanings to the words, or the words to the meanings to the images, I used Google Translate, but I think what really helped kind of go through it faster was the Google Voice. So you just basically read from the card and it immediately translates, so it's just a lot easier than typing it in one by one. Just a little tidbit. Next we have Ventura. I think this is adventure or being bold. Next we've got Il Carro, which is the chariot. Kind of different imagery from the regular chariot, which is usually facing forward and like charging straight ahead at you, but this is a more chill chariot. It's a cool take on the chariot. And then we have Malafede. So this actually means bad faith. I think that that's like a cultural nuance thing, because in English, bad faith I think has a slightly different meaning, but in Italian, I'm thinking that maybe it might mean gossip, because I mean, clearly they look like they're gossiping. La Torre is the tower. Il Papa, which is the Pope, or I think that's the Pope, right? Looks like the Pope, but the Hierophant in this case. And then next we have Heroismo, heroism. Next we have La Justicia, justice. These colors are so pleasing to the eyes, I gotta say. La Consultante. So I think that actually this card symbolizes the person, the querent. So the person that who's asking for the reading, the tarot reading. I think this symbolizes them as a female, and there is also a male La Consultante as well. But I think this is the yeah, excuse me if my accent sounds more like Spanish than Italian, because I took Spanish for several years, so that's just what I'm used to. Okay, so biasimo. I think this meant asceticism or something along those lines. I don't quite remember. It's something to do with like, or being like stringent with yourself or something like that. This is speranza. This means hope. Next we have La Fortuna, which means the wheel. Sicurezza. This means illness, I think. And once again, the D stands for donna. So donna of denari, or the coins, pentacles. Next we have partenza. So this is like parting ways, like farewell. And so this is another thing I was a little confused by. So the C actually stands for caval, which is knight. Or caval, is it caval or cavaliero? One of those for knight. And then we have pensiero, so this is thought, thinking, pensiveness. Next we've got probita. I don't really remember what this means, so I'm just gonna admit that. Okay, and then the R is for Rey, I believe. So King of Wands is that one. And oh, actually, you know, one thing that I didn't explain is it linked to the actual tarot when it comes to the card meaning? You know, to be honest, I'm not entirely sure. I found that sometimes they kind of correlate and sometimes they don't really. So I think that they might not actually correlate with each other, but they might. I guess it depends on also you, the way that you interpret tarot, and then the way that you really get the meaning out of these cards from searching the image with your eyes. So, you know, maybe they're linked, maybe they're not, but yeah, I need to research that further probably. This is La Luna, one of my favorite cards, the moon. Okay, next we have Autorita, which means authority. I think the reverse meaning for this is cruelty. L'Imperatrice, which is the Empress. Ambition. He doesn't look very ambitious. He looks sad, but maybe that's what ambition looks like. Triunfo. I think this means triumph, but maybe not, because the imagery here doesn't quite. There's some kind of cultural nuance there that I'm not understanding. I'm sure of it. I definitely have to look this up. It's so interesting. I mean, look at that tall hat that he's wearing. Is he like a prisoner of war or something? So maybe this means triumph because they captured the prison. They captured the other party, or maybe not. Or maybe they're like a clown. I don't know. I'm confused, but I'll look it up later. This is the world, il mondo. I've gotten so used to nudity in these cards now. It doesn't really bother me anymore. This is amicizia. Oh, this means friendship. Okay, so the other card that we saw earlier that kind of looked like this one, that looked like friendship. Okay, that one was probably something else, but no, I think that meant something similar. Something similar, yeah. It wasn't totally off the mark. Next we have modestia, so it's like modesty. Next we have agiatezza. So this is, I believe this is wealth, prosperity, and maybe excessive wealth. That's kind of the vibe that she's giving off, because look at all the rings and stuff and all the, she has 3 dogs. There's a lot going on. And I think the reverse meaning for this one, interesting, controversia. So this is like controversy or scandal, maybe. Gossip, something like that. Next we have lealtad, so loyalty, and I think the opposite of this was seduction. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And the F also here on the upper right corner actually stands for fante, so page, fante de cups. And also the, yeah, I thought it was interesting, loyalty versus seduction. Definitely a cultural nuance, maybe, or something. Or maybe when it comes to matters of the heart, maybe that's the opposite. Why did it get so bright all of a sudden? Let me try to focus. Oh, there we go. Okay, next we have, I think this means resourcefulness. Intraprendenza. And once again, Fante de Dinari, the page of coins or pentacles, and then we have Donna. You know what? I don't remember what this means. What does this mean? What does this mean? Okay, I don't remember. Let me see the reverse meaning. Okay, I don't remember. It's already starting to drive me crazy, so I'll probably look it up again, but right now I'm just like, what does it mean? Felicita, felicita, something like that. I don't remember what this means either. Okay, my mind is completely doing a weird, kind of a brain fart right now. It's just like blank. Apprensione. So this is apprehension, I remember. And then the reverse meaning is distrust. Diffidenza means distrust. Let's go to the next one. Audacia. I think this means being bold. Okay, hold on. Or like being audacious, basically. Same Latin root meaning. Discorsi, so this is speech. So he's making a speech, and then the verse, incertezza, uncertainty, I think, or something like that. But yeah, discorsi means speech. He's clearly on the podium making a speech. And then, privazione. What does this mean again? Privacy? No, that's not what it meant. Okay, I definitely have to go through, make a guide for this or something, like Google Translate it. At least for the ones that I keep kind of blanking on, because, man, that's really bothering me. I'm like, no! Okay. La papessa means the popes, or the high priestess. Look at that hat. Next we have perdita. I think that's meant, spending too much or something like that. It was an interesting one. It like the meaning doesn't quite isn't so obvious with the image, or the meaning and the image are not quite correlated in a really obvious way. But I think it meant like excess or something, excess spending, or I don't remember, something along those lines. Piacere. I think this means like news. Next we have timidezza, so timidness. Next we have accordo. I think this means like, accord, like, like an agreement. I think that's what that meant. Yeah, agreement. Okay. Like business dealings or something. Success. Excuse me, I have to readjust. Okay, hold on one second. There we go. Next we have inserviente. I guess servitude. Next we have il sole, the sun. Next we have svago. What does this mean again? Oh, this means like fun. Yeah, svago means fun. Next we have nobility. I really like this card. Something about it, it's just so friendly, so approachable, so just calming, you know. Colors too. Next we have l'angelo. I think this is angel. Or actually I think that this one is not justice, judgment. I think this one's a judgment one. I believe, yeah, this one's judgment. So it's not, it's labeled as the angel. Ow! Sorry, okay, there we go. Next we have excess, so I think this means, yeah, excess. I mean, clearly he's eating too much. Excess. Gluttony. Affanno. This means like breathlessness, or sorpresa, surprise. I thought she was crying at first, but in actuality she's just breathless from being surprised, apparently. Or just overwhelmed or something. Next we have affari, so this is affluence. And then corruption is the reverse meaning. And yeah, so you see the R at the top right is Re de Dinari. So he's the king of coins, king of pentacles. Next we have Esito, so this is excitement. Next we have Arrivo, the arrival. Next we have, so this is the other consultant card. Earlier we had the female consultant, which symbolizes the querent. This is the male version of that. So if you have a male querent, this would probably be him. Il consultante. Okay. Next we've got Il Matto, so this is the fool. This fool looks kind of like shoddy. Like, I don't know if I haven't noticed this with other fool cards, but this one, he looks destitute. Like, he needs help. But, you know, it's very cute. He kind of reminds me of the scarecrow from Wizard of Oz. Okay. Attesa. I think this means waiting. Next we have solitudine. Oh, solitudine. This means, yeah, solitude. Decadenza. Decadence? Oh, this is the one that means decadence. Okay, then what was the other one? Okay, there was another one in there that I got wrong. Just FYI, but I think they had similar meanings. And they also kind of look the same. Gotta do the research on this. Next we have pianto. I think this is crying. Obviously she's crying. Oh, and then the reverse meaning, interestingly enough, means opportunity. That's kind of cool. Okay, we're almost there. So l'imperatore, the emperor. I really like this card, actually. Cool. Last card we have Volonta. So this means will. I don't know why at first I thought it meant violence, but obviously it doesn't look like violence. The image, it means will. And then the reverse meaning is metamorphosi. So yeah, metamorphosis, transformation. That's really interesting. So, okay, that about wraps up our review for the Tarocco Indovino. And, yeah, printed in 1979, featured in La Repubblica. And, yeah, it's very pretty. I really like it, actually. I like the art in it. And once again, it is a little confusing at first because of all the numbering that's slightly different, and then you get like the reverse meanings that have some cultural nuances in there. But I actually kind of like that, you know. I like the uniqueness, like the cultural nuances, the little differences. It makes the cards very unique. Makes this deck worthwhile because you don't want all of your decks to be exactly the same, and you kind of like the little cultural nuances between the cards and the historical bits as well. You know, it makes it much more rich, you know, depth, you know, juicy. So yeah, this is it. And very, very simple little white book, very easy to read, easy to study, I must say. And once again, last tidbit, if you're not fluent in Italian, because this is all in Italian, it's really easy to just read the black or the red words into Google Voice, and it will translate it immediately for you. So you don't have to type every single word in. And I'm probably going to make a guide for this, like a personal guide, because, you know, there's a lot of Italian Okay, so that's about it. Like, comment, subscribe, share if this resonated with you, and I just want to remind you again that I now have an Etsy page where you can get personal email readings from me, and the link to that Etsy page is in the description box below. All right, I hope you enjoyed. See you later. Bye.